If you didn't know it, the Commonwealth Games starts in earnest tomorrow evening. The boxing action will get underway on Friday night, and one man who knows all about competing at the Games is Anthony Ogogo, who, of course, won silver in Delhi 4 years ago. Not a bad Olympics either. And he'll be part of our commentary team in Glasgow. Well, earlier, Steve and I spoke to Anthony Ogogo. And first of all, we asked him about his memories of fighting in Delhi 2010.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. And it was probably one of my favourite experiences in my career today. It was the first time I went to a multi-event competition. I was boxing at World Championships and Europeans before, but that's always been solely boxing. So it was the first time I'd gone to a place where there was netball players there were sprinters there were swimmers there, and it was brilliant. I know India and Delhi got a bit of stick, obviously, in the paper before whether the village was going to be completed or not, but I had a great time. I learned a lot from it, and they held me in good stead when I went to London 2 years later. So, for me, it was a great tournament.
I was just going to ask you a question about whether you feel that it was good preparation for the Olympics, and it obviously was.
Yeah, definitely. Because I was being a middleweight. Middleweight's always the most popular weight in of all the 10 weight categories. And I remember I had to box the first day, and the draw was was rarely kind to me. I boxed the first day and I boxed the last day. So, making weight in you go to Latvia, you box 3 or 4 times in the space of 3 or 4 days. Whereas Commonwealth Games, I had to go there and I had to box 5 times in 9 days, I think it was. So you got to hold your weight down for quite a long time, and that was alien to me prior to going to the Commonwealth Games. So that did hold me in good stead when I went to London. And I was a better boxer 2 years later at the Olympic Games for my experiences at the Commonwealth Games. Anything
that you miss about the amateur game, Anthony?
Yeah, of course. You get to travel the world with your mates and box regularly. I think the biggest thing is obviously as a professional boxer, because it is tougher, it is harder, it's more rugged. You can't box as much. You box more sporadically as an amateur, and obviously being an athlete, I just love to fight and I'd love to box and compete. So, and as an amateur, you get to compete more often, which is I miss that. I do miss that. And also, like I said, being with your mates, being with the squad. I saw a couple of pictures from the lads I posted on Twitter today, and even the coaches, Lee Pull and Dave Alloway, Rob McCracken, they're great people. They're nice guys to have a chat with, as well as kind of serious boxing with. So I do miss the camaraderie around the squad, but like what I'm doing now, and I love my career now. I love being a professional boxer. So I'd rather be where I am now, but I'm a better boxer now, sitting here for the experience I had at the Commonwealth Games, the Olympic Games as an amateur, than I would be if I didn't have those experiences.
And when you show up in Delhi, it's not like showing up at the Olympics or the Europeans or the World Championships, because you know who all of the fighters that are going to be there. They've been monitored. The one thing about the Commonwealth is it can throw up unknown fighters, guys that you've never heard of. Because you know at the Olympics, you knew that 8 or 9 people that were a problem to you. Yeah. When you get to the Commonwealths, that's a lucky draw when they do the draw, isn't it?
Steve, I had a shocker with the draw, honestly. My draw, usually the Commonwealth Games, it's a great tournament because it's a great way to kind of boost your profile, and your opposition isn't really the best in the world. You've got a few strong nations, but when I went, I think I had one gimme. In all my 5 fights, I must have had from Kiribati. Don't even really know where that is.
From where?
Exactly, yeah. A small Pacific Island thing, from what I was told. And I stopped him in the second round. From then on, I had hard fights. I boxed an Australian called Damien Hooper, who was a reigning youth Olympic champion, world number 1 youth boxer, world number 5 senior boxer. And I beat him. He was tough. I think he's a pro now. Me and Steve were talking about him earlier. I think he's about 12, 13 and 0 as a pro. Signed with Ricky Hatton's team. And then I boxed a Nigerian, and this is exactly what you said, Steve. I boxed a Nigerian, God knows what his name was, and I beat him 10-0, right? And if you hear that, you think, 10-0, easy win. It was the hardest 10-0 win of my life. It was one of the hardest fights of my life. He punched so hard. I sparred with some tremendous boxers through my career, and just prior to the Commonwealth Games, I was doing a lot of sparring with Carl Froch. I think he just fought Arthur Abraham. So I was in good nick, sparring with some good heavy-handed people, and this Nigerian that I boxed, he punched harder than Carl Froch. He punched me so hard, and after the fight, I had a massive black eye, a big black eye. And he didn't even hit me. Like, he hit me. My hands were in front of my face, tucking up, and he hit me so hard that I gave myself a black eye because he just punched so hard. And like you said, Stephen, you get the odd guy like that, and that fight, although I won 10-0, took so much out to me because he was a monster. He knocked out cold the two guys he boxed before me. Like, not just stopped him, the referee jumped in, he knocked him out cold, which is quite it's quite uncommon in amateur boxing.
And who are you looking forward to seeing yourself, Anthony, in Glasgow?
I'm looking forward to seeing Andrew Selby fight. Andrew Selby is one of the most talented boxers. Probably is the most talented boxer I've ever trained alongside. He's phenomenal. And I feel in the Commonwealth Games last year, he lost to Haroon Khan. He boxed very, very poorly and didn't really do himself justice. And in the Olympic Games, I felt really sorry for him because he boxed the Cuban, and the Cuban was the only guy in his way that was going to beat him. And he boxed him quite early and before the medal stages. And I felt very hard. I felt very hard done by for Andrew Selby because he deserved more. He deserved the silver medal because he was the best, the second best in his weight category. So I think since then he's done the WSB. He's been unbeaten in that. He's been just setting the world in that. And I'm looking forward to seeing him go there and put on a performance which he deserves. I think he didn't do himself justice in the Commonwealth Games 4 years ago or the Olympics 2 years ago. So I'm looking forward to seeing Andrew Selby, and I'm sure Steve will concur. How tremendous of a talent he is. Yeah,
he's a special talent. But I'm looking forward to the guy that's going to be wearing your vest and fighting at your weight, Anthony Fowler. I want to ask you this, Anthony. It's a bit of an odd question to ask you. Do you think he's put a bit too much pressure on himself by basically talking about after he wins the gold medal?
No. I don't know if you've ever spoke to Anthony Fowler, if everybody hasn't heard of him. He's probably the most confident boxer I've ever met. I think if somebody put him in a ring with Gennady Golovkin now, I think he'd probably fancy himself to win that fight, which is good. You need confidence in this game. You need to go in there believing you're going to win. And but he's a confident lad. I don't know if he's put too much pressure on himself. Obviously, I'm not in his head. I don't know how he's feeling, but that's good. You'd rather be going into a tournament, thinking that you're going to win, rather than going to a tournament thinking, this guy's good, or the Indian's good, or the Australians. He's quite handy. So I think he's going with a positive attitude, and that's what you need in this game.
Anthony Ogogo, who won a bronze medal at London 2012 at the Olympics, won silver at the Commonwealth Games in Delhi 4 years ago. Steve Bunce is with me. Let's finish off our boxing hour by talking about the boxing event at the Commonwealth Games. One of the stories of the Games, even though it hasn't started yet, is that Team Wales have confirmed that Fred Evans has had his accreditation refused by Glasgow 2014 based on checks completed by the Home Office and the Commonwealth Games Accreditation Decision Board. No one's giving the real reason, but this is presumably because he got done for a fray, did he? An assault?
Yeah, he was in a gentleman's club in Birmingham, and there was a bit of a problem, and someone was hit, required £1,500 worth of dental work. Fred was charged with a fray. Wasn't sent to prison. Assumed everything was okay. Had permission from everybody. We thought to go up there, and he's been refused. I'm not sure. Is it absolutely dead, or is there a right to appeal? Dead. Well, that's a bizarre one because...
it does. A lot of people will think, well, hold on, you're done for fighting and now you're not allowed to fight.
Yeah, and also, you're done for fighting 4 or 5 months ago. It's not like it happened on the, not like it happened on the motorway making their way to Glasgow and it's still pending. It's been open and shut. It's very strange. Very strange.
Looking forward to it. Commonwealth Games all starts with the opening ceremony tomorrow. Full coverage. So many hours a day on 5 Live. You won't miss a thing. Gavin Hastings, Tanni Gray-Thompson, Celtic Park, John Murray, you name them, they're there.